Hey guys, Deb here with Art and Grace. Let's get started because we have a lot to get done. I want to be a little bit aggressive and do some glass art with this today. Let me get this turned where y'all can see my desk. One thing I wanted to do was show you guys how to fill a butane torch because I probably need some in here, and I've told everybody that next time I go live to do this, I would do it. So all you do is be sure it's in the off position. Let's see, off. And turn it over. There's a little hole right here on the bottom. You've got your extra butane, and you just obviously line them up, poke it in, and I'll let y'all hear this. Hear the sputtering? As soon as you hear the sputtering, you can stop and just, you may see a little bit, it absorbs. We're going to turn this over and just let it sit here because you always need to do that about 15 minutes before you're going to use it. I have already, because I knew I wanted to do some glass today, I've already sealed these together. It comes in 3 parts. You've got the base, this little frame, and then this little frame. Like I said, we've got to save a little time, so I've already sealed these 2 together. We're going to paint, and I have already cut out my rose design. Is that not beautiful? This will fit right in here, as you can see, and I thought it was just perfect for what we're doing with this window. I almost did this one with the bottles. Isn't that beautiful? It's kind of muted colors and really soft and feminine, so I love it. I wanted to kind of match the pink that's in here, which is a little bit, it's really tricky. It looks pink, but it's a mauve, and it has a little bit of peach in it, or yellowy tones, warm tones. So I am mixing my blush. This is Blush Pink from DecoArt. And a little bit of Buttermilk, which will warm it right up. So we're mixing these 2 together to warm it up. And I think that I can get the perfect color. So we're just going to get this painted with this pretty, oh my gosh, that's such a pretty color. So it was pretty before, but we've mixed it to get kind of a perfect warmer peach pink. I'm going to do white for the background. Just need a little base for our paper so that it doesn't show through the wood color. Before I went live today, I did put down 2 coats of DecoArt multi-purpose sealer. This will seal your wood. If you aren't sealing your wood before you paint, you're missing out. It gives you a much smoother surface for that paint to go onto and gives you a better outcome. So I highly recommend it. I also, last night, I put a coat of DuraClear on top of this paper, and then I turned it over and did another coat on the back and let that dry. So this is protected just because we never know how our resin, I didn't know if the ink might bleed. I don't think it will, but I just would rather be safe than sorry. So this is the size that the paper came in. It's an 8.5 by 11, I guess. Reba, correct me if I'm wrong. But I've just cut it down to the size of this smaller window in here. So we're going to put this down with a little multi-purpose sealer. I just need something that will dry quick, and this will work. Like I said, it is already sealed. Okay, look. Oh, look. Is that not stunning? Oh my goodness. Love, love, love that paper. So all I have to do is get this down. I don't have to do the front because it is already sealed. So I'm just kind of making sure everything's down. We're going to do a little white pearl over our pink. I think it's going to make it just that extra pop. I'm going to be a little sparing with this. This is white pearl, and if you've watched me very often, you know that I use this almost on everything. I love white pearl. I love that stuff. I buy it in the largest size they make, and then always have it. Let's see if I can get this to where the light will oh, there you go. See that down here? Just, you can cover the whole frame, but I was thinking about just kind of brushing it on kind of random. And if we need it all over, we'll add more. But I wanted to see how this would look, just kind of random little swipes. Let's see. Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. I just think that stuff is so pretty. I'm also going to brush a little bit on with just a small brush in our flowers. So my plan was to do, like, you know, random flowers in here, not everyone. I'm thinking let's just touch down on some others with this just kind of sketchy white pearl. So I did this flower here. See that, how it's just kind of popped it in, not the whole flower, but just it really will catch your eye. So if you're looking at this, once we have all the glass on and everything, it will catch your eye. I don't know which roses I'm doing yet, so I might as well just kind of tap it on a few. It can't hurt. That's one thing, you know, it won't hurt to put it wherever you want to. One, two, three, four, five. And then how about we do some of these small ones? You'll see. You like how I'm wrapping my arm around? I have to be creative and find ways to where I'm not going to cover up what y'all see. Little bits, just, okay, let's see if we can see that. You can barely see it. It's just enough to give it that little sparkle. Okay, I am going to just touch this with the heat gun and be sure our sealer underneath is dry, which it feels dry, but just to be sure, you do, if you're going to do resin, you need everything to be completely dry, whether it's paint, sealer, whatever. It needs to be completely dry before you put your resin on. Oh, I forgot about this. We're going to have to cover a little bit of this too. But just swipe your brush. Doesn't even matter which brush you use. Just light feathery strokes. And listen, when you're painting, if you want to have a more random feathery look, hold your brush back. Don't hold it down here like a pencil, but hold it way back. And it gives you less control, which will make your swipes a little more random and messy. See how that looks. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, let me set that here. Get rid of this paint so I don't get my arm in it. Now, I like to break things. So I'll take a vase or a glass or whatever, and I have certain tools I use to cut it. And then I took this is actually the piece I used, and it's really iridescent. I took this and cut it into these little pieces. Can y'all see? Little pieces of glass. And then all we have to do is put these where we want them. We're just going to arrange these around our flower petals. And what I do is I cut them and then I hone them, or use like a sanding tool where you just scrape the little edge of it and you can get any shards or sharp pieces off of that, because you don't want anybody to, you know, get injured. And I don't want to get injured. And I do need to grab a pair of tweezers, because when you start working with these tiny pieces of glass, you realize how fat your fingers are. Or at least mine are. Sometimes it's just helpful just to put it on with your tweezers. Like I said, I do have that printout. It's a little booklet of all of the tools that I use. And I don't have time to teach that live because it's time consuming. But I do have really good lessons in my VIP group. So we're about to open. So if you would like to learn how, come join us. We have so much fun with it and with our paintings. And it's honestly easier if you start at the inside with your glass and work out when you're doing flowers. I did another Reba Rose flower creation with glass. I guess it was last year or year before, lost track. And it was one of my most popular posts. Everybody loved the print that I used with the glass, which, you know, you don't want to take away from these gorgeous prints. And that's why I'm just putting these little pieces, and I'll hold it up to where you can see in a minute. Okay, let me hold that up and see if I can show y'all. Can y'all see that? You know, I can't really move it too much or it'll fall. Thank you. First time you've ever seen. Oh, it's so cool and it's so fun. So the whole reason that I started doing art was because my mom had Alzheimer's and I was so stressed out to the point, y'all, that I thought I might have either a nervous breakdown, a heart attack, a stroke. I mean, I just was so stressed out. And not as much from the Alzheimer's as just being pulled in too many directions. I had a stressful job, and I couldn't quit. We had to have the insurance, and so I would go by and see her on the way to work, go to work, usually talk to somebody there once a day, you know, during the day, and then go there directly after work, and sometimes stay the whole evening and get home so late that I didn't want dinner. I would just get ready, go to bed. And you know, you can only do that. You can only do your body that way so long before you just crash. So, you know, I was praying one day saying, you know, oh, I can't do this. Lord, you got to help me. You know, I don't know what to do, whatever. And he said, I want you to do some art. I want you to paint or some, I can't remember to the exact words, but in my spirit, you know, it wasn't like an audible voice, but I felt that he was telling me to do painting or art. And I was, you know, it's so confusing because you're like, I don't have time. I always pray a lot. And so he basically led me to begin doing the painting while I was praying. So that's kind of how it all started, was painting and praying. And I tell you what, it changed my life because it gave me so much peace that I was getting up earlier and earlier to do it. You know, when you're stressed out and just working all the time, it's all you can do to get up and get to work. But I was getting to where I wanted to get up early so that I could paint while I prayed. And then I would try to get home to where I could paint some at night. Didn't always happen, but I just had developed such a love for it, obviously God-given. And now I kind of make it my goal to provide a place for women to go that's stress-free. We do not, I know that we could all talk about politics all day long, all night long, but we don't. We have a group that is just, we've committed to not talk about it in there because we want it to be an escape. It is an escape from the problems that we all face, and or a respite. You know, you can't ever escape your problems, but it's a respite. It's getting away for a while and hanging out with other women, and we share, and you know, the ones that want to, of course, we don't, not everybody wants to chit chat, but the ones that do are there for each other, and it's a great little place. But art, in my opinion, can change your life because it can bring so much peace and so much joy. I think I'm going to do at least one more flower. Okay. Hopefully you can see that sparkle. It becomes so pretty the next day. I cut out leaves as well. Almost forgot the leaves. I cut out little leaves. This is mosaic glass. And then this is a like a candle votive type thing, and it's really pretty. I know you can't tell, but it's got little etchings in it. So let's add some leaves in here, and just kind of random so that we're not covering up all of the pretty leaves that are on here, but just adds a little something, something, you know. And then I've also got some champagne crushed glass. That's really pretty. We might sprinkle, you know, around the bottom. That I like the smaller pieces on feminine projects, and then I'll save these larger pieces for something else. So when it's a girly kind of feminine project, I just think it's cute to use little pieces. Picking out the larger ones. So anyway, let's get resin going. So this is such a small little space and a very small little lip that I don't need a whole lot of resin. I'm going to do 1 ounce. And I'm not even marking my cup the way I usually do. Yeah, I'm going to have to. I can't see it. So don't go by this tutorial. This is not a tutorial, in fact. You'll want to watch my other tutorials. Like watch the last one I did. And that tutorial explains everything start to finish as far as resin. So today I'm going so fast, this is not a good example of my tutorial for resin. This is a 2-part resin. So if you use a 1/2 ounce resin, you're going to use a 1/2 ounce of hardener, which is what I'm pouring. And you do want that to be as exact as you can get it. So I do take a second and be sure that I'm right up to that line. And even though I'm only doing 1 ounce of it, I'm going to pour it over into a larger cup, and it will be easier for me to stir. But we're going to stir it for 3 solid minutes. Don't want to whip it. You know, we're not making a cake. We're just stirring some resin to get that mixed. So slow and easy. Slow and easy wins the race. Just take your time. You're just stirring for 3 solid minutes, and I do stir the sides, or scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, scrape my stick every so often, get that work back in. The resin art, oh thanks. I love doing the glass and resin, and if you're interested in that, I highly recommend the VIP group. It's a really good place to learn. You can ask questions. I'm always available, literally. Until it grows big, I'm there for y'all, whatever you need. Once it gets bigger, I'll have to get help, but for now. But you do want to do a full 3 minutes. You'll see bubbles. That's okay. We're going to pop them with that butane torch. And the butane torch, I've even got a tutorial on YouTube about the torch and how to fill it. And, you know, when I say I teach it step by step, you'll know exactly what to do. So all we do now is we're going to pour our resin. You can drizzle it, and once you drizzle it over it, it's going to kind of hold it there. And then, or you can pour it if you prefer. And if I need more than this, I'll just mix up a little more. But I think because it's such a shallow little lip here that this 1 ounce will be enough. My time is up. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.